Hi, good afternoon. Oh, sorry, it's still morning. Hi, good morning. Can you hear me? Hi, good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
All right.
Good morning.
Good morning. Yes. Unfortunately, I think you are the only one in this session. Don't know.
Oh wow.
Let's wow.
I
Let's
already
say
called someone. He's going to join now. I already called
yeah,
the
no
few people.
yeah, no problem. Let's say wait for another 5 minutes, and if any other person that joins, we just do a short stuff because the stage B is not actually a hectic one, as it is just an introduction to what DevOps is and stuff like that. So we'll just be doing a short demonstration of GitHub boards, and that is all. So let's wait for another 5 minutes and then we'll kickstart proper.
Okay.
Okay, so we have a few more people in our midst. Welcome, Omotunde and Joseph. And how have you guys been finding stage B so far? I hope you guys can hear me.
Oh
Yes, I
yes.
can hear you.
Yes, this is a group stuff. You get, it's only DevOps guys that are here, so it can be more cordial. You get, there can be questions and stuff like that. It can be more interactive than the stage A used to be. So if you have any questions about the internship, if you ask any questions about the courses and stuff, you can just ask while we are trying to wait for others to join us. So how has this stage B been so far? Have you guys gone through any of the course content, or you are still waiting, taking your time? Okay, so I hope you guys can see my screen.
Yes, we can see your screen.
All right, no problem. Okay, so let me just go back to the. You guys are not new to GitHub, because for you to even submit your track assessments form, you must have used GitHub and posted your code on GitHub. So we'll be talking about a not popularly known feature of GitHub, where people that is used for DevOps. It's a way for syncing projects and a way to ensure that you have continuous integration across your projects. So it's a way to keep track of whatever processes are going on, because the DevOps engineer is most likely the person that is always, apart from the product manager, the DevOps engineer is should be in charge of the development process and how they are going. So one popular use to is the GitHub board, and you guys must have seen it. Or when you eventually go through your course content, you see the GitHub board and what it is used for. So it's actually the project board. So this is the dashboard. It's from the organization. So just to this is our I'm showing you our work, my work GitHub account. So this is our work GitHub account, and this is an organization. So this is one of the organizations that we have sub organizations under, that we work together. So if you come to this project tab, if you come to this project tab, you see that we have two projects. So going into this is the current project that is being used currently, and you see that we have a lot of, not really a lot here, but we have a list of tasks and different kind of things here that we are talking about. We have the title, sorry. So this is the project. We have the title of the project. This is the home board. Then there's a current sprint. So this is we'll be creating all of this from the scratch. I'm just trying to show you guys what it is. So this is a way to um have an idea, to be able to keep track of whatever is being developed. So in our own screen, for example, we have, these are the list of tasks that can be assigned to people. So when you have a project board like this, what you just do is you create new tasks, and each task is assigned to each person. So once the task is assigned to each person, then it is the job of each developer or whoever the task is assigned to update the status of the task. This sprint column here is an automatic column that is created that denotes the deadline for that particular task. So a task that is meant to be completed in sprint 3 has to be completed in sprint 3. So the sprint 3, this is a bit old. This sprint 3 was from February 10 to February 21. So a task that is not done in this sprint can be carried over to the next sprint. These are DevOps terminologies that you also go through when you are going through the course. So this is a way to just ensure that across the whole development pipeline, there is early feedback among everyone that is working on that project. So it is not something where the person overseeing the project does not have an idea of whatever it is that is happening and what the status of that project is. So anytime a project is ready, you just have to come here, update the status to the fact that this project is ready, and then whoever is in charge moves on to, probably you create a pull request, and this pull request is merged, or whatever um, should be the result of that task. So going out from the organization, let me just come out from the organization, and then I want to create a new project, so we can start from the scratch to see how you can create a project board, and then create custom you create custom columns on your project board that are personalized for whatever task is it that you want to do. So with this, you'll be able to have an overview of whatever is working on the you get whatever is working on the project flow, and you'll be able to monitor each development process and know how it is going. So with this, there'll be easy feedback, and it's even possible to invite um imagine in a scenario where you are working for a client who is not really technical but wants to be kept abreast of the information of how the process is going. So this is an easy way for that client to also be part of the development process and see that, okay, these are the things that are being done, these are the ones that are ready, and these are the ones that we have on the backlog. So those are some of the DevOps practices that ensure that there is easy communication and there's opportunity for continuous integration, because with a board, once a task needs to be amended, it can be amended automatically on the board. A new task can be created just to be performed in the next sprint. And dividing each task into different sprints ensures that each task is micromanaged, in the sense that you ensure that for every sprint there is a micro task that is deliverable. So it is not really it is not the former method of development where you just have a list of things and all of these things have to be done by a particular time. That method does not work anymore, because development over time have shown that clients might not really know what they want at the beginning. It's possible that after the client have said a whole lot of stuff, it might get to a point where the client feels, oh, we might have to change this, or this is now obsolete, we have to upgrade it to this kind of paradigm. So if the development flow was just a monolithic, in a sense where you just want to perform everything together and just deliver at once, then it can cause a lot of issue to start making those upgrades. So splitting all of these tasks into different stuff is a way to ensure that you are able to perform that new method of DevOps integration cycle where there is continuous integration of new ideas, new project, and new deliverables in the development cycle. So to create a new table, to create a new project has been created. So we'll just come here and because they are templates that GitHub have provided already. So this is a backlog template. This is the roadmap template and stuff like that. So the first we'll be taking is let's call this LCS1 projects. Okay, so when we do this, we create this and GitHub gives us that template for what for this LCS1. So to let's call this, let us edit the name of this, let's call it the home view. Okay, so this is the my spelling is not correct. So this is the first thing you have done. This is the what the home view. So as you can see, the default status is just the title of the task, who the task is being assigned to, and the status of the task. So it is your job to ensure that you start creating columns that will be able to showcase the DevOps practice that you want to do. So let's create a new task, for example, a new task. Let's call this task create um, new column task. So for everyone that is partaking in this project, they need to be invited to the project. So once anyone that is meant to be partaking in this project is invited to this project, they will be able to you'll be able to assign things to them and they'll be able to make their contributions to the project. So everything here will be assigned to me, as there's no other one for collaboration and stuff, but just for practice purposes. So create new columns and this will be assigned to me, and you can see that the default status that were created are the to-do status, in progress, and if the progress is done. So you might need a new status called review, because once something is in to do, once it is in progress, it has to be reviewed before you can say it is done. There might have to be some things that you have to edit. So we need to create a new option that is called to do, sorry, in review here, and we also have to create a new column here that we call sprint. So to create a new field, you just click on this plus icon and it's a new field. So I'm going to call this new, I'm going to call it sprint. So the type of field that you want it to be. So saying as we want just like, because you'll be hearing the terminology sprint a lot in DevOps terminology. It's just they're just trying to say that this is the iteration for which you are working, as you saw in the previous board that I showcased to you. So a sprint is just a short number of time for which a specific set of deliverables have to be done. So the best representation for what can be a sprint on GitHub project board is the iteration. So the iteration, as you can see, iteration starts when today is October 10. So you can make your sprints. Most times sprints are bi-weekly. So a sprint ends after 2 weeks. Once a sprint ends, another sprint starts after the week that the sprint ends. So each sprint lasts for 2 weeks. That's normally, but based on the nature of the deliverables you have, you can decide to extend that by a few more weeks. Say another, it can last for 3 weeks, or if the deliverables are quite short, or you want development to be fast and you want very short deliverables to keep coming in fast, then your sprint can last for 6 days or even just a week. So after this iteration, so we call it the sprints. It is an iteration. It starts when October, and this is the what you save and create this. So you see that what this does is that GitHub automatically creates all of these sprints for you. So you see that this is assigned to sprint 1. So it's possible that I know that, okay, once we perform some of these tasks in this sprint, I don't want some tasks to be for this sprint. I want some tasks to come up when I want some tasks to come up in the next sprint. So I can create a task perform another LCS on Friday, and I'll assign this to myself also as usual. Okay, so enter. I assign this to myself. I'm the only person here. So, and I can say that this should not come in sprints one. This is going to come in sprint two. So, as the person in charge of the workflow, you are able to create all of these tasks even before it is needed. So people are aware of what they need to deliver way before the time of delivery. So it's a way to ensure that there will be no there'll be no hiccups when you're trying to work on things, because there have been complaints of requests coming in late, or people not knowing the deliverable until it's too late, and then deadlines are being mixed up and stuff like that. So using this board, this is a tool actually, but it's a paradigm in DevOps where to maintain continuous integration when you are developing. So using this tool is a way to ensure that those kind of issues that used to come when using the standard development method back in the days do not come up anymore. So another another field that can be created is a deadline field. So apart from the fact that it is meant to be a sprint, in a sprint you can want some tasks to be done at a particular date inside that sprint, and then for you to be able to review. So you can call that date, and we'll call this deadline. So once you do this, we are going to save this new field that is going to be data, and is there. So let's say, for example, they create new columns, and then let me create a new one called review. These are just mundane tasks, review column names. But when you're working on a live project, there'll be things you have to do. Review column, review column details. Okay, so I'm going to assign this to myself also. I'm going to say that this should also be in sprint one. Sprint one lasts from October 10th to October 23. But this one has a deadline of when? It has a deadline for October 17th. So I know that even though this is in a sprint one, and sprint one lasts for 2 weeks, but before the end of sprint one, which is October 23, this has to have been done by the deadline of what? October 17. So, and the reviewing of the column details also in sprint one, but this will now have to be done by what? October 22nd. So this is a way to split up, even to provide more granularity, where tasks that are meant to be in a sprint are being even subdivided. So most times when you are working, in most companies, what we do is that for a sprint, there are specified days for stand-up. So stand up happens at least two or three times in a sprint, where you give update of your progress. So it is not just editing into the in progress. After you edit into the progress, there will be days for stand-up meeting where everyone comes to give a progress report on whatever it is that they are doing. So apart from the days for stand-up, so if a deliverable is meant to be delivered in a sprint, what we do is that for like 2 or 3 days before that sprint ends, that will be the deadline for that deliverable. So that deliverable has to be in review by 2 or 3 days to the end of the sprint. So at the time, so the remaining time between the time from the time that the status of that deliverable has been updated to being in review up to the end of the sprint, that's when you start working on fine-tuning the deliverables. Okay, there's a bug here that has to be fixed, there's a typo here that has to be corrected, and stuff like that. So all of this, the GitHub board is a way to ensure that this is a very, very popular tool among people in organizations that use it to ensure that the workflow is what is streamlined, that everyone that is working on the project have access to the board and can see what is happening. It's also a way for clients to know what is dragging them back. So as I said, we have to add one to this to also be in progress. So to do that, we're going to come to the project settings. So this is the project here. So we go to the project settings exactly. So this is the project settings, and this is the status field. So apart from the to do, so you can, this is also a way for you to come and edit. So apart from the status field, you also want to have something called review. REVIEW. Okay, so we're going to add this, and we're going to let this. Okay, so we can edit this, and you can change the icon for whatever it is. So the color can be red, or you can even describe something for this. So you can choose a gray color, a red color, just something to showcase that this is almost done. So you can save this. So once this has been saved, if you come back here to the projects, you will now see that since I've created new columns, I can update this, that the progress of this is now in what, in review. So that is this is the toolboard. So apart from this, it's not just about creating tags. To provide more functionality, there's a way to link up tags to repos, in the sense that when you create a new task, you can see that everything here is empty. But to give you more granularity over what can happen, so there's a part where you can convert it to an issue. And to convert it to an issue, you have to select a repository. So to showcase this, I won't be using this here because I don't want to start creating repos and stuff. I'll just go back to our organization and check our project board there. So on our project board, as you can see, all of this here are they are tasks that have either been done and they were created to issue. So if I click on a task, for example, let me click on this task, for example. So you can see now that there are comments. So you can use comments when you convert a task to an issue. And to convert to an issue, all you just have to do is to link it to a repository. So if I take up this, for example, which is an empty task, and I click on convert to issue, so immediately I select any repository from here, it will change from being gray like this, the way it looks gray without any stuff on it, it changes to an issue in that repository. So once you do that, you have more things to do now. So you're able to assign it to people, you're able to add labels to that issue. And for anyone that is working on that issue, that's why if you guys are familiar with what we call open source, you see that there are a lot of issues on most of these boards. And when you are working on a particular issue, when you are done with that issue, they are meant to link your pull request to that particular issue. So because it's an organization stuff and we are not meant to display much of our stuff on here, so I won't be going much more into whatever it is that we're doing on the side. But that was just to show you guys that these are the kind of stuff that, because most people just use GitHub for posting their code, they don't know about this particular tool that GitHub offers. So all you just have to do is to just invite people that are meant to be on that project. And as the DevOps engineer, and also most times DevOps engineers tend to work alongside the product manager to ensure that the development pipeline is what is continuous and easy for everyone working on that project. So yeah, you have a lot of stuff that you can do with this. This is just a basic demonstration, and it is not the only tool that can be used for this. But due to the fact that GitHub is a very, very popular stuff, and a lot of people utilize GitHub, so that is why you see a lot of people using the GitHub project. But there are also other popular Git-based tool that can help for creating something like this. But on our end, we prefer to use GitHub because it's very popular and it has a lot of functionalities that helps ensure that all of these are seamless and easy to do. So that's basically what the LCS of today is, because as I stated previously, the stage B doesn't really have a lot of technical stuff, but we still have another LCS because per track there are 2 live coding sessions per track, and in the next live coding session, probably be doing a very, very brief introduction to Git actions. But there'll still be a time where I think in the next stage for CICD, that's when we are going to major in Git actions, and that's when we'll start doing live coding sessions that contain coding proper and all. So this is just an introduction to one of the two, and you see a lot more examples when you go through your course content where you see other alternatives that can be used to perform this exact same function. Okay, so a very short live coding session. I won't be taking too much of your time anymore. Is there any question or anything that we should attend to? This live coding session is actually very short, but starting from stage C, there will be compulsory live coding sessions where, because we've had issues where most interns say they have issues navigating the tag along quiz that we give them, and most times we use the live coding session to try and ensure, but then it is always recorded and on YouTube, so people can refer to them anytime they want to. Just before we end today's session, is there going to be any question or anything that has been bugging you about the internship that probably you want to clear or something? Okay, since
I have a
the-
question.
oh, I see. All right, you can
Please,
go
sorry,
ahead.
please, I have a question.
Oh, okay. So Lolade, go ahead then.
Okay, so sorry, I joined the call quite late, so I just want to ask that the whole internship process, is it beginner friendly? Basically, that's just my question.
On a scale of 1 to 100, I would say 45% beginner friendly, because um, most of the stuff that most of the concepts that are being taught are things that build up on foundations that we believe interns should have already. So there might be them, for example, you can see that we are not going into creating a GitHub account or using a repository, uploading your code and using Git command line tools, because we expect that these are things that interns at this stage should know. So on a scale of 1 to 100, I would say it's 45 to 50 beginner friendly. But for the DevOps track, it's we actually know that a lot of people don't really um, a lot of people are like new to this aspect of programming, so we try to make the DevOps track a bit much more beginner friendly than other tracks. That's why the DevOps track have the most lengthy course material compared to other tracks, because we know that there are a lot of things that people might need to learn and stuff like that. So but to make everything easier, that's why we expect that whenever you run into a glitch or whenever you run into something that is seemingly difficult, you have the right to demand more explanation on things in your track on Slack. So whenever you're going through stuff and you feel that okay, this is not really being explained enough, you can drop a complaint, or it's your right to demand that okay, this part I feel probably you need as a consensus there needs to be more explanation on this, and then a make do live coding session or even more explanatory materials can be sent to you guys to help you guys better understand the concepts. But let's just say 45 to 50% beginner friendly.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah, no problem. So another person was saying they had a question.
Yeah, sorry. Thank you very much for the explanation and the lecture so far. We really appreciate that. And my own question is based on the course, the track itself. Because like you said just now, like the DevOps track where like they have like a bulky materials in order to undergo, in order to be able to like get themselves familiar with the track, which is DevOps. And sorry, my audio is low. Please, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you clearly.
Okay. Okay. So my question now is now based on these materials, because to me, I've been going over those materials and I must say they are very, very bulky and large, sure you get. And the deadline for us to like finish all this material as stated there is 14 days. So to me, I feel we coming from like a novice, into DevOps, I feel this timeline or this deadline is just too small for us to be able to get things attentive. Like it's just too small. So I don't know if probably there's anything in place for us in order to be able to, because rushing things sometimes might not give us the ability to even get the main information in the particular thing. So I feel if probably there's something in place for us. I'm actually talking on my own. I don't know if probably someone here also have that kind of thing in mind too. Because to me, I feel the 14 days is just too small for us to get the whole scope of the track. So thank you.
Yeah, no problem. That has been duly noted. Um, as being the DevOps track, to be frank, I doubt if anything can be done for this cohort because I think this should be the fourth or fifth cohort that is going through this track, and most definitely some people do tend to say it is too short, but based on the timeline that we have for the internship and to not have conflicts with other tracks, because you guys all have to perform all of this stuff at the same time. And also the expectation is that the internship is like, it's a very rigorous internship, so we expect it. We know that people might have a lot of other stuff that they are going through, but it's expected that interns are like probably given say 60-65% of their time to just try and complete the internship for that 4 months timeline. So I won't say I won't say there can be a positive feedback for say an extension or of the track and stuff like that. But it is something that has been noted and will probably be looked into, but it's probably be for future cohorts, to be frank, at this point in time. So um I'll just advise you guys to just probably try and just do a skimming, a scoping read, for example. You can just like, because I also partook in this internship at one point in the other, and I also went through all of this process. So you can just do like a brief review of each of this content, and with with the way I took it then, what I did was I just go through everything at once first, not to like read in depth, and you get what I'm trying to say. Just go through everything at once first, and then over time you can just start, because even after finishing the course content, you have access to the course materials for life on your Amoye page, so you can still go through all of them again. But just try and just try to go through everything, blitz through everything, and then give time to start going through it little by little, because you can to also, that's why for the DevOps you can, I don't think what no other tracks does not have this, but for the DevOps, they are like practice quiz for each lesson. So this practice quiz ensure that you're able to get the gist easily. So the practice quiz do not affect your assessment quiz. So you can even take the practice quiz first, and after taking the practice quiz, then go and read the course content to see that okay, these are the points that the practice quiz majored in. Get those key points in your head, and then, well, this has been noted and we'll look into it going forward. So is there any other question from any other person? Okay, since there's no other question from any other person, so thank you guys for showing up for this live coding session, and I wish you guys a wonderful stage. There will be another live coding session. The date and time will be communicated. It will most likely be Friday. And I want to implore you guys to please go through the mail that you were sent and also your handbook. So you'll be able to get some information about the Premier project and this and some of this stuff. So you'll be able to have an idea of what is expected for the Premier project, how it goes, and some other important details. And also, there will be, as we have been posting extensively, there's a mandatory webinar on Saturday for which the first attendance will be taken. And interns who do not meet a particular criteria, for because we have three webinars over the course of the internship, and there's a criteria of at least 60% of attendance before for any intent to be able to gain a certificate of fellowship. So I want to implore you guys to try and make yourself available for the webinar and make sure that your attendance is recorded. So if there are any more questions, you can reach go to the Apopor channel, send a mail to help@amoye.io, or just drop a message in your track channel if it is track related, or ask Amoye team if it is a general stuff. So you guys have a wonderful rest of the day, and bye bye for now.
All right, thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Bye.
Yeah.
Thank you. Bye.